Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time you're watching this, welcome and greetings. So today we are here with another advice segment. I'm back on the couch. Familiar territory for some of you. And today we're going to be talking about tips on how to save money. Now, whatever your financial gain is, it has to start with saving. If you want to save $1, guess what you got to do? Save. If you want to work your way to the millions, guess what you got to do? Save. So, number one, the first tip is write everything down. Now, why is this important? Well, I believe in life, when you have a certain goal or you have something you want to achieve, you have to write it down. You have to set it out. You have to let the world know, hey, this is what I want to do. Also, you got to let yourself know this is what you want to do. So with that being said, what do you write down? You got to be as real as possible. Number one, how much do you have now? Write it down. Money goals. What is your goal? Where are you trying to go with this? Are you just trying to save just to save? That's fine. If you have a goal, write that down. Write down your income, write down your spending habits, and also write it down in a weekly format and also a monthly format. Be real about it. Write down everything. Don't be shy. You don't have to show it to anyone. You don't gotta put it on social media. Just write it down so you can see it. Sometimes when we think about our finances, it just gets a little cloudy and you might not really see what you're actually spending and what you actually can save. So by writing it down, you can see it clearly. It's right there. This is how much you have. This is your savings. This is your checking. This is your spending habits. This is what you need to do to get started. Write it down. Everything. Number two, this one is probably the hardest one. This one is about the mindset and understanding what it means to spend wisely. Now, what do I mean? First, you need to separate your wants and your needs. Super important about what you want in life and also what you need in life. Food, you need. Want flat screen TV if you already have a good TV. A little basic example. Also, don't spend more than you have. This might seem, oh, that's so easy. Yeah, it is easy. But guess what we do? We spend more than we have, and then we look in the bank account and it's like, whoa, where'd all my money go? So don't spend more than you have. And my last tip about this point is think about quality first. Now, what I mean by that, you need to cut down on buying cheap products. What I mean by that is cheap products lead to repetitive buying, and that leads to more money being spent in the long term. And you don't see it because right then and there, you're spending that money and it seems like, okay, it's easy. Perfect example are sneakers. For example, if you buy the cheapest sneaker for, let's say, $20, and let's say you have to buy it every month because the quality is not great, the comfort is horrible, holes happen, it just doesn't feel good after a while. After a month, let's say, and you have to spend another $20 every single month. Now, right then and there, in that instance, you're saying to yourself, oh, $20, not bad, I could do it. Now let's reel it back. Let's say you actually make an investment in $100 sneakers that are comfortable. You actually read the reviews and you're believing this is the best for you and whatever you do in life, and you have it for a year. Guess what? You save money. So that's what I mean by not buying on cheap products, but in making an investment on yourself. So you don't have to continue buying the same products over and over, because that leads to more money in the long run. When you have that mentality adapted, it's gonna be easier for you. Just think about it. It doesn't have to be sneakers, it can be anything in your house. Think about it for a second. Number three is research, research, research. What do I mean by this? You have to look up all the deals. There are so many different products, so many different companies out there. You gotta look up all the deals, all over. Papers, magazines, internet, books, word of mouth, everything. Look it up. And one thing you gotta say to yourself, never, ever, ever impulse buy. That is going to kill you and drain you. Because when you impulse buy, obviously you're buying right then and there, but you're not thinking about it. You're not actually doing research. You are just blinded by either the price or the flashiness or whatever it is that made you impulse buy. Do not impulse buy. Hold yourself back. Research. Ask questions. Do not be afraid. This is your money you're giving away. Number four, always, always, always pay your bills. Oh, that seems so easy, right? No. What I mean by pay your bills is put that at the priority. So remember that list you made in the beginning? Go back to it, because I know you didn't list the bills first or all of the bills first. Put that as the priority. Those are things that you have to do. They are non-negotiable. You gotta pay them, or else guess what? Debt happens. And you do not want that, because that is the opposite of saving. So write down your bills, all of your bills, pay them off first. If you want to pay the minimum balance, go for it. If that's all you can do right now, do it. But the best way, in my opinion, pay it off in full, as much as you can. And also set up automatic payments, so that way when you made that list in the beginning, you don't have to worry about it. You know that that money is coming out constantly, and you don't have to worry about it. Do it. Pay your bills off first. Number 5. Be realistic with yourself. Now, many people want to start out saving. Oh, I want to be a billionaire or a millionaire tomorrow. And you only have $20 in your account. Great, you can do it. You win the lotto, you make a great stock investment. Maybe it can happen tomorrow. But for regular folks, you got to start small. And you got to be reasonable and realistic. Because when you set those high, unattainable goals right away, you're gonna get discouraged. The morale is gonna go down, and you don't want that. You wanna keep yourself up. So set realistic goals based on your income, based on your expenses. You have to know what you can save. Makes sense, right? You need to set high goals, but don't be unrealistic. That's basically the moral of that story. And also remember, nothing that you buy needs to be flashy. Everything that glitters isn't gold. That expression is in itself golden. You gotta say to yourself, do I need this? Do I want this? That's the question. Ask yourself, can I live without this? If the answer is no, go for it. Make that investment. If the answer is yes, that you can live without it, splurge when you actually can splurge. Don't just do it for no reason. That's gonna lead to you not saving. It's gonna lead to more spending, because you're gonna say to yourself, oh, I can splurge. It's not a big deal. I got this. Chill. Take it back. Understand what you're doing. Be realistic with yourself. Number 6. This one is very important. Well, they're all important. This one is find ways to cut down on your spending. Like I said before, you don't need everything. When you start to realize that, your mentality is gonna change. The whole thing about saving is a mentality. If you say to yourself, I cannot do it, that mentality is literally you. And when you tell yourself that, then you won't be able to do it, because you're always gonna have that negative feeling inside, and you're not gonna wanna change. So it's okay to complain. Go ahead, vent, do what you gotta do, but then reel it back in and let's get started. Let's start saving. Also, when you find ways to save, start small, start slow. You don't have to cut every single thing. Oh, I'm not gonna buy anything. Don't do that, because then you're not being realistic with yourself. So you gotta make sure you find the real ways that you can cut down, that it won't harm you and it won't make you feel like you're going through withdrawals slowly. It's not a race, it's not a competition. If you do it slowly, then you begin momentum, and that is the key to saving. That is the key to anything in life. You have that energy, and that momentum keeps you going all the time. So you gotta be realistic, and you gotta cut down. If you're a type of person that can do it 100% right now and cut down whatever you don't need, go for it. Number 7. So number 7 is about talk to someone if needed. Sometimes when it comes to money, when it comes to finances, we may not want to talk about it. We may feel nervous, we may feel embarrassed, we may feel shy. Fine. You can also talk to yourself. Just saying, you can do it. Why should you talk to someone? Sometimes when you discuss things and you have a third person, or you look at it from a third person point of view, you see it in a totally different light. So when you're writing down your finances, when you're looking at your wants and needs, when you're looking at all these things, sometimes you don't see it because you're too invested in that. So you need another person, or you need yourself to be removed from that situation and say, okay, let me actually go in and revise this list. Talk to someone. If you can't afford a financial advisor, go for it. If you can't, like I said, go for your most frugal friend or yourself. Number 8, organization. What does that have to do with money, you ask? I am a firm believer in clutter equals gutter. That basically means that when you have anything cluttered, your mind is basically in the gutter. It's dirty, it's gross, it doesn't want to do anything because you have trash around you, and it's not a good feeling. You're not gonna feel motivated. So you gotta start with organization. Everything. Organize everything. Also, a good point about organization when you're trying to save money is that if you are, let's say, cleaning your closet, you might find things that you probably didn't even know you had, but you were gonna go spend money on it. So guess what? Because you decluttered, now you don't have to spend money on that. You saved. It's a start. It's a mindset. when you declutter, it just frees up your mind. It gives you more space to think. Number 9, progress is good, but try to increase over time. So if it was easy to save a lot, you would have done it by now, but it's not easy. So what you have to say to yourself, okay, if I can save $1, even $1, fine, because you can always improve. The problem when you start too big is, let's say you start at 100 and then you cannot meet that. That goes to you and lower morale. You don't want that. So you gotta be careful. Understand that progress is great and increase when you can comfortably. Most people, when they want to save, like I said before, they want to cut it out completely and save everything. You can't do that because that's gonna actually lead you to more setbacks. So you need to be realistic. And also start small because it's not a competition. You're not competing with anyone. If you can only save $1, fine. Then in the month, save $2. Whatever you gotta do, you gotta do. Because whatever you've been doing hasn't been working. So you gotta do something. And number 10, the last tip, treating yourself. But understand this is very dangerous because if you treat yourself too much, then you won't save. Now, why should you treat yourself? Because that's a saving in itself. That's an investment in yourself. When you treat yourself for doing something, don't you feel good about it? Now, I'm not saying go out and go big and crazy and buy everybody drinks. Don't do that unless you can. But what I'm saying is treat yourself to something. Either a little tiny present or something that you actually saved up for. Don't forget to treat yourself because what are you saving for? That's the ultimate question you gotta ask yourself. So you gotta have enough to cover if you blow that away. Gotta have enough. Always think about doubling. That's what I always use is doubling. If I can't pay for this twice the amount that it's asking for, then I have to think twice about it. That's the way I think, just to save. But like I said, start small. Start small. You can definitely do it. It's not hard. Overall, all you gotta do, for me, the biggest tip is writing it down. When you're true with yourself, that's when you're gonna be so free. You're gonna say, oh wow, I didn't even know I was spending this much. And then guess what? You're gonna make those efforts to cut back, but you gotta start. And that's the key. You gotta start. Do not let anyone beat you down. You have to be strong. You can do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much for your continuous support. Thank you.